Trump.
And time now for the KSL In-Depth.
The House Oversight and Government Reform Committee isn't too happy with Mylan Pharmaceuticals for leaving out details in a recent hearing on how much money they make on their Epipens.
Joining us now live on the KSL Newsline is the committee chairman, Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Congressman, what is it that you're displeased with? Do you think that they underestimated or reported less than they're actually making on those Epipens?
Look, when you come to testify before Congress, you're expected to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the oath that they took. They had advance warning and notice that we want to understand the finances of what's going on with the EpiPen, and they were less than truthful, and that's not acceptable.
So what's the next level of action here, either from your committee or from, breaking the law perspective?
Well, again, lying to Congress is a crime, and we, myself and Elijah Cummings, the ranking Democrat on the committee, jointly sent a letter to Mylan Pharmaceuticals asking them to clarify, and we gave them more than a dozen items that we want them to show us. And normally with a private company, you just leave them alone. That's none of our business. But they've been entangled with the federal government, asking the federal government to do a lot of things with them. So we think we have the purview to do that, and you can't come to Congress and tell us your profit is $50 per pen or $100 per two-pack, and then when we press them and press them and press them, saying there's a lot of funny business here, you're not being candid, the CEO refused to come clean. So later, their attorneys admitted that they weren't being truthful, and now we're going to continue to pursue the truth.
What happens next then, Congressman? Will you have another hearing, or are you demanding more documents?
Right now, they're in receipt of a letter. They have a few more days in order to respond to that. We'll see how candid and truthful they are. But, yeah, I always have the option to call them back up and yank them before the committee and the American people and ask them more questions.
Congressman, I want to shift topics on you quickly here. Any thoughts on the vice presidential debate you watched last night?
I thought Mike Pence was just wonderful. I had the honor of serving with him in the Congress. I think he showed that he's a rock-solid conservative with the right temperament and approach. I think he does the Trump-Pence ticket a great service. I think they can see the kind of people that Donald Trump would surround himself. I thought Mr. Kane was an embarrassment to interrupt Mike Pence some 72 times. I think it was obnoxious, a lot of canned lines. I think anybody who watched the debate, Mike Pence won, and it'll help the ticket moving forward.
I saw a headline this morning in Politico, Congressman, that talked about how the concern among House Republicans about losing seats coming up in the election has softened a little bit, and there's not as much worry that Donald Trump will cost seats in the House. Is that something that you've been talking about?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think a lot of members across the country were concerned about what's going to happen or not happen, but we seem to be doing very well as a national party. There's still some members that are in tight races, but that's always the case. So take nothing for granted, keep working hard, but we've got the right message, and the message is about strength and protecting the homeland and about balancing budgets and being more fiscally responsible. And the Democrats on the opposite side of that, they want to spend and tax more, and it's a pretty simple choice election for voters across the country, both at the presidential level and at the congressional level.
We always appreciate your time, Congressman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz on the In-Depth at 15 and 40.